everyone, and thank you for joining our third and final session of our Running a Practice series, Empowering the Future of Architecture and Practice. As you get settled, please feel free to say hello and where you're joining from in the chat today. To qualify for continuing education credit, AIA California provides the learning objectives for every webinar and includes them in the presentation that can be made available online. A few quick housekeeping reminders. Today's session is being recorded and qualifies for one AIA learning unit. For those who stay on and watch live, AIA California staff will report these units to AIA for you and will send follow-up information on how you can receive a certificate of completion. There will be a Q&A session towards the end of today's program to hear from attendees, so please use the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen to submit questions for today's panelists. You can also like a question to move it to the top of the queue. Please be constructive in your comments and questions to help foster a positive learning experience for everyone. I'd now like to introduce our moderators for today. Trenton Inouye, Associate AIA NOMA, is a technical designer at Gensler, where he currently works on aviation and hospitality projects in their Newport Beach office. A graduate of the University of California, Berkeley's College of Environmental Design, Trenton is an active member of the AIA and currently sits on the board of directors for the Orange County chapter, serving as both the Director of Emerging Professionals and Chair of the Emerging Professionals Committee. Trenton is a passionate advocate for mentorship in the profession and believes the next generation of firm leaders learn best by building strong relationships and developing diverse networks within the industry. Magdalene Vrela, AIA NCARB, is a designer and architect at Rotet Studio, currently also serving as the Young Architect Representative at AIA California. He first served as the Emerging Professionals Director for the AIA Pasadena Foothill chapter, and during that time, the chapter was awarded the Academy of Emerging Professionals Chapter Award, an award recognizing it for its contributions to the emerging professional community. Magdalene believes young professionals are the next generation of architects and a driving force for the future of the profession. She strives to determine how the AIA can help its young members professionally and has participated in programs such as ARE Lecture Series, Women in Architecture Speed Mentoring, NCARB Outreach, and Leadership Academy. Thank you both so much for being here. We're really excited, and I will now hand it over to you.
Cool. Thank you, Sarah, for that introduction, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Trenton Inouye. I'll be one of your co-moderators along with Magdalene. And before we hear from our speakers, we just wanted to share a handful of resources from both AIA California as well as the California Architectural Foundation, CAF, that helps support students, emerging professionals, and the future of the profession. So CAF is dedicated to developing the architecture education programs and initiatives, specifically focusing on the future of the profession, architectural education, design and practice resources, as well as community engagement. CAPEX, or the California Architectural Practice Experience, is a statewide program offered by CAF, providing hands-on practical architectural experience in firms and other practice settings. CAF also offers a variety of scholarships for students pursuing architecture. So if you or someone you know is interested in these resources or would like to give in support of the future of the profession, visit CAF at the link in the chat. And then now Magdalene is going to walk us through some additional resources and programs offered by AIA California. So take it away, Magdalene.
Thank you, Trenton, and hello, everybody. Apart from the resources Trenton mentioned, AIA also has a lot of other resources to support and spotlight emerging professionals. The California Awards is a great example of that. Please note that the Young Architect Award, Associate Award, and Student Leader Award are now open to applicants. The ARE CSE Study Hub is another great example. This is a free bi-weekly program that brings together everybody currently studying for the AREs to hear from professionals covering important testing material. Check them out on YouTube. They upload all of their sessions there. Additionally, the program is actually supported heavily by the AAP Council of Advisors, who also offer access to licensing advisors and resources to all EPs as well as students. Lastly, the AP Leadership Academy is a new program focusing on developing leadership skills and allows all participants to network with members throughout California. Please check them out. Thank you. And without further ado, I would now like to start introducing our speakers. Our first speaker for today is Andrew Goodwin. Andrew is actually the most recent recipient of the AIA California's Young Architect Award due to his contribution to the profession during the first 10 years of being a licensed architect. His contributions include founding the firm AGD, which has a mission to design projects that transforms lives and living through the spirit of stewardship for their clients, communities, and of course, the environment. In 2014, Andrew became the youngest faculty member for Cal Poly Law, where he helps students understand the importance of socially responsible architecture. His studio actually worked with nonprofits and provided students the opportunity to design and work on projects with real-world clients, programs, and of course, implications. Then in 2017, Andrew also received the Norma Clark Award from the AIA California, recognizing him as an architect making significant humanitarian contributions to society. Congrats, Andrew. From 2014 to today, Andrew has been very involved with AIA and has previously held positions like Vice President, President, and Board Executive for the AIA Central Coast chapter. Welcome, Andrew.
Cool. Next, joining us, I have the pleasure of introducing Francisco Arias, U.S. Marine Corps vet. Francisco has been leading and executing award-winning design since 2008. Thank you for your service, Francisco. And as Director of Design, Francisco leads the growth and evolution of Where Malcolm's national design platform, focusing on the Southern California region. Francisco serves on the AIA LA Architecture for Our Communities Los Angeles Executive Board of Directors. He's also an advisor for ACLA's 2x8 Student Competition Committee, mentors USC Architectural Guild students, is a voting member of the Gene Roth Driscoll Scholarship Committee for the AIA Foothill chapter, and mentors CLAOC CEE Summer Success Summit High School students. Very good resume and a lot of letters there. And last but not least, we'd like to welcome Yoshira Jimenez, Associate AIA NOMA. Yoshi's a designer, educator, and advocate focused on affordable housing and community-centered design. She's a knowledge integration lead at Architects Fora, where she fosters a symbiotic mentoring culture by helping the team share knowledge and create resources that support collective growth. Yoshi also serves on the board of AIA California Central Coast and teaches part-time at her local community college. A proud Cal Poly San Luis Obispo alumna and first-generation college graduate, she brings a values-driven approach to architecture that centers people, equity, and shared learning. So with that, thank you all so much for being here. And I think, Andrew, we'll hand it over to you. Why don't you kick us off and tell us a little bit about your work and your story. So the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So today, make sure everybody can see my screen. Today, I'm here to talk a little bit about the small practice end of things and entrepreneurship and what that means for emerging professionals. Just like many of you, I believe, there we go. I started as a student in university, and that experience in Cal Poly and kind of graduating through the recession led me to a really interesting opportunity to go out and find how to become a better business leader. So in this ideal situation, I would have been happy to have stayed at the AE firm that I was with when I graduated. But what I found was in 2008 to 2013, while I was with the first firm that I entered with, I had great experience with projects and understanding how to go through a project and to lead a project. But the firm itself lacked training and mentorship. There was no transparency in the path of the future where I was going to be in that firm. And it really led to this idea of burnout and a lack of motivation. So after I decided in the long term, I decided to leave that firm. I went on this quest to develop my own business acumen. And through that, I founded my own design build firm. We founded a nonprofit organization and a long format publication. And though during that education of mine that I was leading a firm at a young age and doing great projects like this community center in Rwanda and having success in publishing long format magazines for things like the social impact and humanitarian design organization, I found that it was lacking still in understanding how to foster my own office culture and how to foster emerging professionals and coming out in the market. So in 2014, like was mentioned, I joined the faculty at Cal Poly in SLO. And at that same time, I left my companies, I sold my companies and founded AGD. And AGD is a company that was founded based on a lot of very similar principles of the past companies, but I decided at that point that I was going to be community first focused. And what that meant from a core value standpoint was that I was thinking about people first, then the projects. That was not only the community that I was serving and the clients that I was serving, but also the people in my firm itself. The firm is a mid-sized firm, and really we pride ourselves on being a family, like really thinking about each other and how we're treating each other and how we're learning from each other. And what I found was that firms that equip, include, and protect emerging professionals create better work and keep talent. And this literally became a jump off point or a springboard into some research that I've been doing to help reinvigorate what emerging professionals are in my office. So these three things I wanted to cover because specifically, very important to understand, 40,000 people sat for licensure in 2024 in California, and 30% of the people that are coming out of license are sole practitioners. 75% of those people are also in firms of 10 or less. So this may be the market of really understanding how do you grow your own small firm, and that's what I want to talk about. So let's talk about this equip principle. There's two things that I find very valuable in equipping. The first is understanding AXP and ARE outcomes and paying the emerging professionals and supporting them through that journey. If they pass a test, reimburse them for that. The second thing is really being transparent about the promotion ladder. The Guide for Equitable Practice by the AIA in 2009 put a very succinct measure of being transparent, not only with the compensation program, but allowing all employees to understand those components. It's important that you engage them and understand how they can grow, how they can see a future. The next is include. Mentorship and continuing education are fundamental. I think everybody understands that. We're here, we're learning, continuing our education. On top of that, being transparent with your business practices are also fundamental in this principle of engaging the emerging professional. This means inviting them in to understand your contracts, your HR, your scheduling, having them be a part of these discussions early on in the foundation of those clients that you're making, so that they can also move forward and understand in the future. This is our firm at the Monterey Design Conference. We take this as an opportunity to continue our education and also build our own culture together. The final thing here is protect. This can't be more important than today, but understanding workload guardrails and wellness safety rituals is probably the number one thing that I've learned as an important thing as a business owner to your staff, to your emerging professionals. Workload guardrails means no more than 40 hours a week, and if you have to do overtime, understanding the ebb and flow of that overtime, being very cautious of burning those people out. And at the same time, creating this wellness safety ritual, asking people how they're doing and really creating that as an idea within your firm culture. ARConnect in 2023 created this really great mental health survey. I highly encourage you to go read about it. But these are 2 points that they published. The first was how you feel the office is affecting your personal life. And 86% said it negatively impacted your personal life. 86% of these people, it's like a couple hundred people that did this survey. And then on top of that, what affects your mental health the most? Uncertainty about future and balancing demands of work and home. This means that it is your job in your firm to guide your emerging professionals so that work-life balance is taken care of, is fostered. So what are some actions you can take today to help your firm with the emerging professionals? I honestly think these 4 things would be great if you could institute them, whether you're a firm of 2 or 10 or even more. Publish a promotion ladder. Create learning hours, maybe on Fridays, 1 hour where EPs can learn a lot from the upper level staff. Mentorship assignments, pair people together so that they can understand and learn together. And then finally, a monthly pulse survey, that same idea of like work-life balance, survey people, and then post those results. I also wanted to leave one final thought here about what emerging professionals can do in the firms that they're in as well. I honestly think that there should be an EP toolkit that's established within a firm. So bring this up to upper management. Number 1, make sure that EPs understand the business. Get entrenched in it. 2, ask for more responsibility, ask for more jobs, more things that you can do. And on top of that, number 3, keep that impact list of what you're doing, because advancement in your firm requires you to do your own due diligence of knowing how you've impacted projects, how you've brought value to a company. Advocating for AXP and AREs, using healthy boundaries within the firm, and then building an advisory board of EPs is really, those last 3 things I think would be good. It's important to understand architecture is a slow craft. EPs need patience and strategy. Yeah, we say that EPs should always have patience, but I think the most important part is that strategy component. Understand that if emerging professionals is 10 years, it's from 0 to 10 years that you're emerging. The first 3 years are skill production and mastery. The next 3 years are probably project leadership. And then the last 3 years are that client and design authorship. So it's important that you understand that that is your role and how you can help craft the small business and emerging professionals. So with that, I'll hand it back to Trenton and Magdalene.
Cool. Thanks so much for sharing your story, Andrew. I think your message about transparency in architecture really resonated with me, and I think all of us can agree that's something we can improve upon as an industry. And I really like the idea that you just said about the EP toolkit and sharing that with firms across the board as well. So with that, thank you again for sharing. We're going to transition to Francisco now. And Francisco, Ware Malcolm is a fairly large design firm, so I'm curious to hear how your firm's size plays an impact on your support for the next generation of firm leaders. So go ahead, Francisco.
Thanks, Trenton, and thanks, Andrew, for sharing that great story. I'll share a little bit about myself. As you guys just heard, I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran, so you can imagine I took the scenic route to get to where I'm at right now. And as you can imagine, it was pretty tough. There was a lot of challenges in there, but I was very fortunate that I came across several individuals that were willing to support an emerging professional. People with the names of Amy Murphy, Jen Parks, Ronald Toon, Ginger Tapia. Those are people who gave their time and supported me and allowed me to personally grow. So let's get started. Supporting emerging professionals, Ware Malcolm. I wanted to start with this quote. And this quote by Pierre, what it means to me is that the future is shaped by the hope and opportunities we provide to our younger generations. It emphasizes responsibility on our part and vision that if we really want the better tomorrow, we must inspire, mentor, empower, and for those who will inherit, lead that future. Next slide. So we got to ask ourselves, is that it? Is that why we want to support emerging professionals? Those are very good points, but there are many other great reasons why we should be supporting emerging professionals that will benefit the profession and the overall business. Next slide. So supporting emerging professionals can have many, many benefits. Building future leadership, organizations that nurture young talent tend to create a pipeline of skilled leaders who understand the company's cultures and values. Now, this helps companies in the profession because it ensures continuity and long-term success. This is one of my favorites. It drives innovation. Emerging professionals tend to bring fresh ideas, new perspectives, and adaptability. And supporting them can accelerate innovation, and for some company, could help them stay competitive and in a rapidly evolving industry, which is what's happening right now with AI and technology just changing at a very dizzying pace. It also helps strengthen retention and engagement. When teams feel supported and see a clear growth path, they're more engaged, they tend to be loyal, and this reduces turnover and builds strong, committed team. There's also, industry reputation. As we all know, we all talk, right? So we're always talking like, well, how's it going in that company? What type of raise did you get? What are you guys doing? So the word of mouth has a tremendous impact. So companies that invest in professional development are seen as leaders in their field, and they tend to attract a lot of the top talent. They also create a positive impact beyond the firm. Empowered professionals contribute to better projects. They create stronger communities and a more sustainable future for our design. So I think I would like to say that investing in emerging professionals is sort of investing in the possibility. When we nurture new talent with mentorship and growth opportunities, we ignite creativity, and I might even say that it sparks innovation and empowered future leaders. It empowers future leaders to shape a world that not only reflects on our vision, resilience, and hopefully with progress. Slide. So with that being said, Ware Malcolm is no different. We believe in emerging professionals are the future of our industry. And by investing in mentorship, leadership development, and continuing education, we're empowering the next generation to innovate, lead, and shape our built environment with confidence and with creativity. Next slide. So I like to think that we are a people-centered culture. Our philosophy emphasizes that it's all about our people. We foster inclusivity, collaborative environments, where team members are encouraged to grow their careers, continually learn and innovate. And we support these professionals through a mix of mentorship, career development programs, internships opportunities, and community engagement initiatives. Next slide. So let's talk about some of these initiatives. So we're always looking for the opportunities. So next slide. And we honestly believe that we are building future leaders. The firm sees leadership development as an essential for sustaining growth and maintaining a strong culture. Programs like the Emerging Leaders Program, the Where Malcolm Leadership Academy, and our regular mentoring program are designed to identify high potential talent and equip them with skills, emotional intelligence, leadership, and strategic thinking. I'll go through these really quickly. The mentoring program is very typical to what you would see out there, but it allows members from across our 28 offices, 29 offices now, the opportunity to connect with leaders or other individuals across these various offices. So if you're not getting the nurture, the mentorship that you need in your local region, there's an opportunity to seek out different skills by reaching out. Right below that, it's our Emerging Leaders Program. This is a really interesting program which offers a cohort-based learning experience that cultivates leadership skills among high potential employees. Now, these groups tend to meet on a regular basis. They have a series of micro-learning sessions that collectively makes them help each other out in further developing their leadership skills. And then we have the Where Malcolm Leadership Academy, which I'd like to think serves as a cornerstone of the firm's culture, and it provides a significant development opportunity that prepares team members for future leadership roles. Next slide. Continuing education and career development. Next slide, please. Where Malcolm has a commitment to continuous learning. And for us, they're not just programs, they're a promise. We invest in professional development through initiatives like the Where Malcolm University and Where Malcolm 5.0 Continuous Improvement Program, which encourage innovation, skill building, and reinforcing our belief that empowering individuals with knowledge benefits both the person, the team, and the org. So just really quickly on these different initiatives, our university offers a series of learning courses that repeat. I think it's on a monthly basis, and those courses are taught by the team. So if you have an interesting topic, you can empower somebody else by providing them knowledge, or most importantly, you want to learn a certain topic on something that you typically don't work on your day-by-day. The Where Malcolm University is a key way for you to get that continued learning. Our WM 5.0 Continuous Improvement Program encourages team members to transform ideas into actual actionable improvements. I like to think of it as you have a voice. And it sort of reminds me of what Andrew was saying, right? Where you do these regular surveys to see how we're doing. That is exactly what this program is. It's an opportunity for you to say, this is not working, and put it out there for leadership to analyze and determine if that's something that needs to change. In addition to that, we do the professional organizations, which we empower people to participate, and we offer a robust ARE support program with a series of resources and potential presentation opportunities. Next slide. So internships and early career exposure. Next slide, please. Internships and early career programs at Where Malcolm are more than opportunities. I honestly think that they are launch pads, and by providing hands-on experience, mentorship, and exposure to real-world projects, we can empower emerging professionals to turn their passion into purpose and their potential into leadership. So with that, we have your typical summer internship programs, and that program right below that, which is the CLA OC Career Exploration Experience. It's one of my personal favorites and one that I'm intimately involved with. And that reaches out to a lot of high schools and community college within the OC region and allows them the opportunity via a 5-week internship course to develop design presentation skills and developing a party. Next slide. And next slide. So one of the many things we're really proud of at Where Malcolm is how we give back and stay connected to the industry. Through our Where Malcolm community program, we encourage our team members to get involved in charitable projects and initiatives that support education and youth development. It's about inspiring the next generation and making a real impact. And final slide. One more time. So I want to leave you guys with this. The future really belongs to those who want to give the next generation a reason for hope. In architecture, this means creating more than buildings. It means building people. By mentoring emerging professionals, sharing knowledge, and fostering creativity, we plant seeds of innovation that will shape cities, communities for decades to come. So every conversation, every opportunity, and every challenge we help emerging professionals overcome becomes a foundation for a better, more sustainable future in our profession. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Francisco. That's a beautiful quote. I think it was great how you mentioned some real world examples of what firms can do and some programs they can develop. I think a lot of times the intention is there, but a lot of places have a hard time figuring out the execution. So that was great. Now let's hear from Yoshi. Yoshi, I know your firm is a pioneer in a lot of ways, so we're excited to hear about your unique practice. Take it away.
Alrighty. Thank you, Magdalene. Let me see, where's my share button? Alrighty. So hello, everyone. I'm Yoshi Jimenez, Associate and Knowledge Integration Lead at Architects Fora. So we've heard how traditional practices, both small and large, are providing support for their emerging professionals. So I'll be talking now about how we do it at our fully remote practice, which there's some misconception that remote work tends to be for more seasoned professionals. But I'm going to go over how embedding mentorship, transparency, and professional development into the DNA of our firm has allowed us to really support and see rather quickly how impactful that's been to our emerging professionals. So first off, just want to highlight Fora's human-centered approach, since it guides everything we do from our design process to our community company culture. Whether it's our team members, our clients, collaborators, or the communities we serve, we put people first. But my focus today is going to be on how we support our emerging professionals. And just want to highlight that even though we are fully remote, we are very intentional about providing opportunities to meet in person and really develop those personal relationships within our team. So the Fora framework, this is kind of how I want to describe that. For us, leadership isn't something for a few or those that stand out as leaders, whatever that might mean, but it's something that we all share and at different times and in different capacities. We call this structure latticed leadership, meaning that instead of your typical vertical ladder that you're often climbing, once you reach the top, you tend to stay there. For us, we do grow in our responsibilities, but we have the option to kind of climb side to side or down if needed. And we do that by focusing on continuous learning, transparent communication, and the idea that we can each provide support at different stages of projects. And it's become just a natural occurring way of working for us. And yeah, to Trenton's point earlier, transparency is one of our biggest commitments. We've done that through our team created review scorecards. So our team came together to generate those so that everyone's aware of what it takes to basically perform at the levels that we expect each of us to do and hold each other accountable for it. We also provide opportunities for just incorporating communication throughout our firm and for all our team members. Simple things like including all project team members on all communications. Seems like a very small effort, but it really does turn out to be a great opportunity for learning of younger professionals. And what am I trying to say here? Yeah, it's not often, based on my past experience, not often the case where you're able to basically see behind the curtain at what's happening with the project when you're like starting off. We also include our team members in all project meetings, whether it's with our clients or consultants. Everyone's invited to the meetings. Yeah, so again, it's just like exposure. The other thing we do is we constantly provide strategic and planning update, financial planning updates to the entire team. Everyone's aware of what's going on with the company. Our oh my God, I just blanked. Our salaries are actually public. You can go onto our website and you can find that there. As a team, we're all aware of that information. Again, the more transparent you are, the stronger the trust is for your team. Yeah, we're instilling a continuous learning and reflection mindset as a way to help our emerging professionals just develop into future leaders. We do this through a robust feedback and reflection. For example, we don't do annual reviews. Instead, we do bi-weekly check-ins using an online performance management platform that provides our members the opportunity to provide asynchronous professional or personal updates. And it also helps us assess our goals and priorities in a continuous manner. We also reflect on our successes and our challenges during these. Then once a month, we hold one-on-one virtual check-ins with our president. And we're able to bring up anything, whether it's personal or professional. And these are often the opportunities where we can request either training or learning opportunities or leadership opportunities. And on top of that, we have our quarterly reviews where we review our performance as it relates to the team developed scorecards. And we often share our lessons learned. We've incorporated that into our weekly check-in meetings because there's always something to learn from, something that didn't go right or something that did go right. And you just want to highlight the way of doing things. So again, just constant and consistent touch points for feedback all year long. It's not an annual thing. I think one of the most meaningful aspects of our practice has been the opportunity that we provide everyone to become experts in something that they're passionate about. So we believe everyone has some like strength that they can share and bring into our team. So we encourage that by providing the opportunity for people to develop a specialty. And we do this by providing each team member with what's the equivalent of 8 hours per week of non-billable time for research and development, so that they can develop their subject matter expertise. As part of this work, where each team member needs to develop a specialty plan, which it's an opportunity to kind of train people through what it would take to sort of like manage a project. So we need to determine what the staffing needs would be for the specialty work, what our milestones would be, deliverables, stuff like that. So again, that's starting with our like newest members. It's right off the bat, you get the opportunity to do that. And that specialty becomes your leadership lane. That's where others can look to you to be the guide in that particular subject, or to provide any insight. You become that sort of like mentor of that area of expertise. And even at our weekly team meetings, again, we're always looking for opportunities for everyone to chime in. So everyone gets a turn presenting or leading our weekly team meetings, which gets us a bit more comfortable with speaking in front of groups, which is it's not always a strength of everyone, but we grow into it. It gets easier as time goes by. And again, collaboration is our daily practice. We host collaboration sessions every week. And these are opportunities for our team members to bring in ideas, challenges, questions. And I think these like constant touch points and opportunities to interact and just learn, ask questions really creates a culture of just learning and everyone feeling comfortable knowing that there's so much to learn and that we don't always know the answer, but if we come together, we can figure stuff out. And again, we definitely highlight the fact that there's not just diversity in like ethnic diversity that can contribute this, but just diversity of thought. We all think differently. A lot of things have shaped the way we think, and just being able to vocalize that really strengthens both our design work and our internal culture. And again, just maintaining this growth mindset. We're constantly auditing our workflows, our programs, and asking for our team input. Lessons learned get integrated into our future workflows. And it's really it's not a one-time initiative. It's just what we practice every day. And what better example than the new branches that have come out of our team specialty work. I think our team members have really become experts in the areas that they're passionate about, which has led to the launching of Engage Fora, which is now an actual branch of our practice that focuses on community engagement as it relates to architectural projects. We have a research fora where a couple of our team members are focusing on figuring out the grant landscape and try to incorporate that into the type of work that we're interested in doing. And development, actually developing housing is another big interest that has sparked the future growth of the development branch of our firm. And similar to what Francisco was saying, by empowering your emerging professionals, the impact that you can have goes beyond your firm. It goes into your communities. We've seen our team members start to found local chapters of organizations like Strong Towns and EMB. Some of us have taken on teaching roles at colleges and universities. So yeah, we just really develop confidence and our leadership, and we've become more comfortable putting ourselves out there. Great example is me being here today. I don't think I'd be doing this a few years back, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of support from our team in so many ways. That's it for me. Just didn't want to duplicate a lot of what Francisco and Andrew have been talking about. A lot of what they said is also stuff that we do at Fora. Just wanted to highlight the differences of our practice. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Yoshi. That was great. And I see that we do have one question in the chat, but I also had a question for the group that to kind of get the discussion going. And please, whoever is online, feel free to throw your questions in the chat. We really want this to be an open discussion. I think your presentation, Yoshi, really emphasized kind of the importance of like starting from the top. Your weekly check-ins that you mentioned, and then the monthly one-on-ones kind of really emphasize the need for management to be on board for this to work.
Mm-hmm.
So the question that I have for you guys, as you know, a lot of firms get really busy. There might be people that are excited to kind of help and mentor young professionals, and I hear that a lot from EPs, but a lot of times they're already swamped with their project responsibilities. So how do you kind of deal with that time issue, that even if there is a willingness, a lot of times the project schedules and project workload makes it really hard to kind of pause and actually start mentoring someone? Whoever wants to go first.
I guess I get started. I mean, for me, it really is an important thing for Ware Malcolm. And what we do is we build it into our calendar. It is part of your schedule. And if you don't make time for it, it's not going to happen. For example, I've been trying to go to the gym for the past 8 years. I keep on talking about it, but I haven't put it in my calendar. So it's the same thing. So I think, I think firm leaders and even emerging professionals have to provide that commitment. If you're not getting that invite or that calendar invite, you should send it out. Take the initiative, go get it, set that appointment.
Yeah, and I would add to that as a small firm or somebody that's just starting a company, it's really, really important to remember that ownership is responsible for setting that schedule. And so the buy-in of this whole idea of empowering emerging professionals starts with leadership. If the leaders are not buying in, then you're never going to be able to make that appointment. Even if Francisco says that it's in the Google Calendar, you have to be there. For example, if the leaders don't even show up to participate, it's setting a bad example of what that mentorship is. So it has to be an honest conversation. And I know that, the bigger the animal, the harder it is to, the bigger the ship, it's harder to turn, right? The bigger animal is harder to wrangle. And I think that that's really important that we think about the leaders being part of this discussion and starting this discussion to lead that conversation for when emerging professionals will have time.
Yeah, I think exactly that. We have it on our calendars. Again, our calendars are really important to us, being fully remote. That's kind of how we communicate our availability for anything really. But we have our, like I said, we have asynchronous options that we do bi-weekly. So that doesn't necessarily require us to find a time that works for, in this case, like our president and our staff members. But we can do that whenever we find the time. Usually we do have like a date, like try to get it by this date. They review it and they reach out if we have any questions or if we flagged anything. But then our monthly one-on-ones are on our calendars. And then same with the quarterly reviews, our principals set aside the time to meet with us to do those. So yeah, it does come from the top. And at Fora, we're very fortunate that our leadership really values that and has incorporated it in all these various ways.
I will add, Yoshi, we meet, going back to my comment, we put it on our calendars, and then we created a accountability by having a survey at the end of the mentorship session where both parties get to report in. So, it's sort of the mentor and the mentee get a report card. So that's one way to keep everybody accountable and engaged. Just a thought.
Yeah, we recently implemented what is typically considered a upward review, where the staff is able to provide feedback on leadership. So yeah, definitely.
Thank you. And we do have a couple of questions in the chat. First, like Yoshi, if you can clarify, I believe you said there were 8 hours a week or 8 hours a month on leadership development. I believe it was a week, right?
A week, yeah. So again, we allocate about that time. So you're given about, I forget, like 200 and something hours per quarter. I'm blanking on the numbers right now, but obviously that's our budget. It really depends on us how much of it we'll need, and we kind of sort that out as we put together our specialty plan. It's like, what do I want to focus on this quarter? Okay, I want to focus on this. That should take me about this amount of time. I'm going to have to actually work with this other team member for that. So that would take some time, and just you go through that process. I'll really thinking of it as a project. And that, again, that's whether you're just a recent graduate that joined our team and is starting to work on that, you're already getting exposed to that. It's like to think of stuff as a project and how you're going to lead it to accomplish whatever goal you've set for yourself. But yeah, it's 8 hours a week, non-billable time set aside for research and development of our team.
Cool. Cool. Thanks for sharing, Yoshi. Just taking the next question in the chat. Next question is, are there any steps that, and this is for anybody to answer, are there any steps that emerging professionals can take if their companies do not offer structured development opportunities like those presented today? So what do you guys think?
I would say absolutely. And one of the things that is very impactful is if there are multiple emerging professionals in this conversation to present a structure that is wanted. Many times leaders in firms, small or big, have blinders on when it comes to certain things. And this is a really easy way to bring an idea to the table. And I think any firm would welcome any idea that is presented that would make their staff better. And so present it professionally, present ideas, ask for time, bring a group together of like-minded people to present this. And I think that's a really great way to start the discussion to structure that developed opportunity. But I think it's better if you do your work, do your homework, present it like you're going to present to a client, and then present it to the upper management, the staff that need to hear it.
I agree with Andrew. I always get the question. I usually get it from the AIA. The AIA doesn't offer this, or so-and-so doesn't offer that. My response is pretty much what Andrew says. It's take the initiative. If it's not being offered, then start it. You are empowered as emerging professionals to create your future, right? So go out there, go get it, figure out what you need. And I agree with Andrew, be prepared, right? A lot of the presentations here are going to be shared. So look at our content, reach out to the three of us or to others on this call, and we can help you at least with some key points on what you need to do to get this going.
The other thing that I like to mention to our team is you don't have to rely on stuff being sort of like provided by your firm. I think you can go outside of that. If for whatever reason you're not getting what your looking for. I like at prior firms, I was able to like request some flexibility with my time to do a city-led like Chamber of Commerce leadership program. So I found that opportunity. I'm like, I want to go through that. I want to see like learn what leadership is, and then just kind of work with my manager to work out just that flexibility. So even if they're not able to provide the program itself, you can request maybe some accommodations to help you go through a different program, through a different venue. The other thing is that I think, yeah, sometimes the AIA might not provide this specific support, but just getting involved with the AIA, putting yourself like joining the board, becoming a committee chair, things like that, you start to develop the leadership skills. Maybe not in such a structured way as like going through a leadership program, but little by little, you start to see how the other members are leading, or you're taking notes. You get to learn from those going through that same experience as you are. So don't just rely on firm support. I think you can open yourself up for outside opportunities.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Yoshi. Trenton and myself were part of a previous panel, and we were talking about very similar topics. And one of the interesting things that came out of that is that people for a very long time have seen mentorship of being a certain way, structured, top down, right? Somebody's giving you the information. And during those discussions, what we came out of that panel was that's not the way we should view, or that's not the way that mentorship really is. We should really look at it as more of a 360 approach, right? Where you're mentoring people above you about certain things that you're very skillful at. You're mentoring your peers. You're getting mentored by a junior guy who knows how to use AI. So we have to start thinking outside of the box and really focusing on leveraging all our resources to better ourselves and better the profession.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. And I really want to hear from the audience. What are some issues that you guys have potentially encountered, both as EPs or firm leaders, while trying to either start one of these programs or implement it? You can just throw sentences in the chat of what is the industry missing? What are some key characteristics that you have potentially encountered in like firms throughout your careers over and over again? Let's turn this into a little bit of a survey. I'm curious.
I think while we wait for people to type in, I think this question was bound to come up, and Francisco, you just touched upon it very briefly, but the hot topic and the buzzword of this year is obviously AI. And there's a great discussion within firms and within the AI at large that, about how to navigate these new waters. It's all unfamiliar territory, and how we can sort of leverage this new disruptor. And so this question is two parts, but number one, have you noticed emerging professionals or like the younger staff embrace this new technology? And number two, has your firm been embracing it as a whole? And that's for anybody.
I'll jump in and say yes and yes and yes. Yeah, we put in a lot of practice into a lot of our practice, this idea of finding AI that could help with a project, not necessarily relying on one specific AI, but doing our own research and then seeing how that can work out. We use AI for renderings and some of our technology that way, but even helping, for example, taking an RFP or some kind of request from a municipality for a project, putting it into AI and asking AI to analyze how the response would be crafted to hear what people might be listening for, and getting ideas that are compounded from other resources are extremely important, and AI can do it so quickly. So those ways of using technology to speed up or to be another sounding board is extremely important. We just did it on a project for a code analysis. We had been beat up pretty bad by the County of San Diego by a third-party plans examiner who was unwilling to listen to any conversation that we had. And so we asked AI to analyze these requests and these ideas and find code sections that were in California's building code that we then researched, not depending on the AI for the answer, but then using it to help us research. And it really helped, in my opinion. And again, the emerging professional staff is more well-tuned to understand what might be out there and to use technology in different ways. And so we use everybody, every age in our firm to leverage AI in that way.
Yeah,
Thank
same.
you.
We're yes and yes and yes. So, and again, going back to the way we structure our practice, one of the first things we did when talking about AI was we had a workshop at one of our collaboration sessions to talk about the ethics of AI and what that would look like for our practice, how we wanted to use AI, where we didn't see its value, where we saw its value. So again, we started off with that. We have one of our team members whose specialty work is going to be focused on AI. So again, they become sort of like those leaders in that specific area. But again, we work collaboratively. We have sessions to go over our practices. Again, similar to what Andrew said, like we use them more as a tool to support stuff, but for us, that human component is what why you still need architects, why you still need your designers, is that human aspect that AI doesn't have, that you need to use to evaluate whatever information AI is able to provide you.
I would nod and say yes, yes with everybody. I agree with everything that's coming out of Yoshi and Andrew. I think the key statement there for me, and I think everybody reiterated that it's a tool, right? And just like before, we had a pencil and they got replaced by a computer, and our computer is getting replaced by AI. So it's the evolution of our tool, and we're going to use it as such, right? With the goal of helping us deliver and convey our overall vision, right? Now, the thing that we need to start to considering, especially young designers, emerging professionals, those new generation, is how is that going to affect your workflows, right? How is that going to work how you work, right? So just like some of us had to evolve from using a pencil to a computer to this and this and that, the next generation is going to have to evolve is how they're going to use AI in order to create these things, right? So are we going to become professional prompt writers? Who knows? So great things to think about. Lots of interesting and dicey topics up ahead.
Great. Thank you, everyone. And we are almost on time here. I did want to say we've been getting some great feedback on the chat. I'm going to leave you off with something somebody actually mentioned on the chat, that it's very different learning how to run a project versus running a firm. And I think all of our speakers today here have kind of really proposed some great ideas of how making your firm a better place will also lead to leading your projects in a better way. So again, thank you for attending, and thank you to our beautiful speakers for sharing their experiences and participating in this. I hope it was inspirational and helpful for all of our audiences. Thank you, Trenton, as well, and Sarah, for putting this together.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, so much to our amazing moderators, to our wonderful speakers, and thank you to everybody who attended the session today. We'll be sending follow-up information on how you can access the presentation that was shared today, or you can find the recording that'll be available in the coming days, and additional resources that we shared out as well. So keep an eye out for that in your inbox, and we hope to see you guys at an upcoming webinar. And feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you all so much, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Right.